What's good, Humble Squad? It's your boy HumbleZiggy, and we back here with another reaction for y'all, and we got another death battle for y'all, and it's Ichigo versus Yusuke, Bleach versus Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, know a little bit about Bleach from the time I was watching it. Not much on Yu Yu Hakusho, but from the nerdcore songs I've always reacted to and watched on the time period for many years, come to know a little bit of it. But basically, from each one I know, both on some spirit energy. So if we're gonna go off that, for me, I got Ichigo. So. But either way, knowing how death battle is, let's see if there's gonna be some controversy on this one. So we about to check this out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my socials up there. And without further ado, let's get it.
Ichigo Kurosaki versus Yusuke Urameshi.
The substitute Shinigami of Bleach versus the spirit detective of Yu Yu Hakusho. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Tell me, Boomstick, what happens when we die?
Endless nothingness? Jeez, man, I don't know. We just started.
Our souls are ferried by
That's a weird way
Shinigami,
of
gods of death, in an eternal cycle of death and rebirth.
That was my second guess.
And when a soul goes astray, warped by evil and regret, it's a Shinigami's job to purify such violent hollows and send them off to the realm of the dead, the Soul Society.
Works great till it doesn't. Enter Ichigo Kurosaki, whose tragic anime backstory came way too early when his mom was killed by a hollow. Reason number one why you should never want your kid.
I ain't gonna lie. Before knowing what I know, I never thought Ichigo's name can be read as strawberry. So, cause I remember a Connor Quest line that he said about Ichigo's name. That boy was freak time with that lyric.
To be the anime
protagonist. Left with his grief, young Ichigo was crushed under the weight of survivor's guilt.
So he lashed out the only way he knew how, beating people up.
But this wound began to heal when he found his calling, upon meeting a Shinigami named Rukia. To stop a powerful hollow, she gave Ichigo her powers, rousing unseen potential within.
Boom! Just like that, Ichigo's a Shinigami.
Substitute Shinigami. To carry out his duties, Ichigo sheds his body for an invisible one made of spiritual matter called Reishi. He can wield vast amounts of spiritual energy called Ryoku and exert it offensively in the form of spiritual pressure or Reiatsu.
Okay, that's a lot of big words, but all it really means is he's a super-powered ghost with an epic sword. His spirit aura is so strong, it can stun-lock foes, crushing them under his own power, even fatally.
He controls spirit matter in and around him, hardening his skin for defense and leaping off of invisible footholds in the air. Paired with speed-boosting skills like Shunpo, he can virtually fly.
Say goodbye to the kid who beat up bullies for their lunch money, and hello to the town's new superhero, with fellow Ghostbusters, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu. Plus Rukia, it was the Shinigami's job to tear hollows a new hole.
While balancing responsibilities at school, of course. GPA comes first, and maybe a round or two of tech.
But it wouldn't be fun.
Kind of crazy that imagine struggling with two identities. One as a freaking Soul Society, a member of that damn thing, and then another one being a damn school student. Boy, I already would have a hard time with the school, but then with school and then trying to balance battling demons and shit. Nah.
Possible without his Shinigami blade, a ZANPAKUTO. It's basically a superpowered spirit that's physically a sword. Ghost sword.
Though strangely, Ichigo's sword is composed of two distinct spirits, both named Zangetsu, which isn't confusing at all.
Just call him Old Man Zangetsu and Hollow Zangetsu. Anyway, the double ghost sword gives Ichigo lots of new moves, including his trademark attack, the sword beam to end all sword beams, Getsuga Tensho!
Getsuga Tensho is incredibly powerful and so effective that Ichigo developed multiple variants.
Sorry, y'all.
He can fire it as a wave, detonate it mid-attack to act as a barrier, and combine two at once into the even stronger Getsuga Jujisho.
To cut even the biggest hollows down to size, Ichigo was ridiculously strong, even from frame 1.
He can make giant shockwaves and parry spiritual light beams from a Menos Grande. And these aren't fake, slower-than-light lasers. Guidebooks confirm they're real light, and the novels say so too.
Plus, early on, Uryu moved so fast that he left his own shadow behind.
But as Ichigo became more involved with the Soul Society, he quickly found that he wasn't good enough.
This Byakuya guy's so fast, Ichigo can't even see him. Time for a good old-fashioned training arc. Hit the music!
Until now, Zangetsu had operated only in its base state, Shikai. So Ichigo learned to release its inner power, a 10 times boost that takes most Shinigami a decade to master. Bankai!
In Bankai, his speed skyrocketed, letting him turn the tables on douchebag Byakuya. Even in Shikai, he blocked an attack that could destroy the whole frickin' Soul Society.
Because Ichigo's greatest gift is his potential to improve. Despite only being a teenager, he mastered swordsmanship well enough to thrash experts who had been training for centuries. He can quickly adapt to new weapons.
What Game Boy say? I'm a rookie that's taking out the alumni. Boy. If that ain't some truth right there, shout out to Game Boy and from his Ichigo rap years ago.
Swordsmanship well enough to thrash experts who had been training for centuries.
Shout out to the nerdcore community for learning me on this shit.
Surpassing his limits time and time again.
Like when he took on Catboy Grimjow. He was getting clamped, but as soon as he heard Orihime cheering him on, that was all he needed to smash that kitty.
You mean Grimjow, right?
Yeah, but even with that main character energy, Ichigo couldn't match Big Bad Aizen. With just a finger, Aizen stuffed Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song, Rude.
That's when you know he's that nigga. It was at that moment. Nigga, do you know how much of aura or that motherfucker to have when not only you stop his attack with one finger, but the theme song too? Nah, son. It's already disrespectful with the one finger stopping or the one hand stopping his move. But you stopped this theme song too? Nah, if that ain't such a record scratch right there, he was like, pump the brakes. He like, oh. Like
just
one
a finger. Aizen stuffed Ichigo's Bankai and his theme song, Rude.
Ichigo needed to tap into his unexplained hollow power. Except Hollow Zangetsu wasn't going to make it easy.
Old man Zang's pretty chill, but this guy's a menace.
Still, Ichigo needed his help and conjured a hollow mask to expand his power. But this meant the hollow within only grew stronger.
Masked up, he can fire lasers, bypass super senses, and heal lost limbs. But
that's
not YN and he'll go full.
Even though Ichigo even though he ain't black, just off that, it gives off YN energy.
Senses and heal lost limbs, but piss him off enough and he'll go full hollow, and you really don't want that.
Hollowification exceeds even Bankai and was enough to crush Ukiura in a battle that shook all of Hueco Mundo, the world of hollows.
Full hollow Ichigo could even tear through all 3 layers of hell.
But with help from his secret Shinigami father, Ichigo continued to train for months in the Dangai, a corridor between dimensions, until he was finally ready to challenge Aizen.
Challenge is an understatement. He manhandled Aizen, shattered mountains with sheer aura, and flexed so hard he smashed out of the black coffin, which crushes space like a mini black hole.
And yet, it still wasn't enough. So by becoming Getsuga itself, Ichigo unleashed his ultimate attack, Mugetsu, defeating Aizen at the cost of all his power.
He might have saved everyone, but now it was back to Normieville.
Ichigo never truly realized until then just how much being a Shinigami meant to him. The power to protect others, his drive, his pride in himself was gone. He would give anything to get it back.
And he did, thanks to a surprise assist from Rukia. Boom! Shinigami again!
Just in time for 1,000-year blood.
You crazy fucker. So he He was like the reverse reaction to like being a junkie. Cause most junkies, whenever they get on that dope fiend, they will want to make sure they don't be on it no more. This nigga wants to be on it again. And then of course Rukia gonna come in here and help his ass out. You giving him his fix.
Boss, Yuhabak,
who planned to end
that name right there, Yuhabak. I'm sorry. Say the name one more time, cause if you haven't, if you remember we reacting to DPS's one from years back, I think it was last year. Regardless, I reacted to his from a while back. You need to tell me, this is how you say his name?
1,000-year blood war with a final endgame boss,
his name.
Yuhabak,
who planned to
Yuhabak. Keep in mind, it is spelled YHWACH. Where the B at? Where in the world is the B? Yuhabak. Yuhabak. Where the B at in that? I don't hear no. I don't see no
everything.
damn B.
And while other Shinigami tried their best, only Ichigo was special enough to pull it off.
His father was a Shinigami. His mother was a member of the ancient Quincy's and possessed by a hollow. Hence, his two Zanpakuto spirits, one Quincy, the other hollow and Shinigami, made Ichigo a perfect union to break Yuhabak's plan. Finally, Ichigo understood himself, fully unifying with both Zanpakuto spirits within. With that came a new Shikai and two new Zanpakuto.
True Shikai! If you thought Ichigo was strong before, oh boy, he's the strongest Shinigami alive. They're dead. Undead? Yeah.
Stronger than Kenpachi, who could split the Dangai in half. Stronger than Senjumari, who shook heaven and earth across the realms. And strong enough to match Yuhabak, even after he absorbed the Soul King.
Juiced up with Soul King power, Yuhabak could nuke all three realms. The human world, Soul Society, and Hueco Mundo, plus the Dangai and Garganta in between, which have a bunch of pocket dimensions sprinkled in. Hell, just the Soul King's corpse sent a shockwave across all the realms.
And it's not a matter of disrupting the flow of souls. Yuhabak was going to end everything through sheer power alone.
But Ichigo still wasn't done powering up.
Entering a new half-hollow form and merging his Getsuga Tencho with a mighty hollow attack, the Gran Ray Sero.
Making a giant crescent slash that ripped through space itself.
All that power culminating in his true Bankai. A power so great, even Yuhabak was scared of it.
Joke's on you! Ichigo didn't even need it! You're done!
Ichigo was finally content. And 10 years later, he remains a Shinigami, having found the courage to stand on the edge of life and death, conquer his fears, and walk onward.
Not so smoothly though.
Most teenagers have no idea what they want to do with their life. However,
True.
that was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ups are.
I mean, he is a teenager, so of course he gonna do that. You a teenager, that's one of the many things that you know a teenager is gonna do. Is gonna throw some hands when he don't like. And especially if you're known for fighting, oh yeah. You just want to. You just itching for somebody to pop your shit.
That was hardly a problem for juvenile delinquent Yusuke Urameshi, because he only ever wanted to do one thing.
Throw hands! It don't matter who the ups are, be they women, old folk, or babies, Yusuke lived to fight. It's what gave life meaning. Who cares about stupid things like friends and family?
Which is why it was so surprising when one day he threw himself in front of a speeding car to save a child, bringing that reckless life to a screeching halt.
Truck-kun claims another victim.
But this is chapter 1 of a battle shonen, so death is hardly the end.
Surprisingly though, it wasn't a spooky skeleton in a hood who arrived to claim Yusuke's soul. It was a blue-haired anime girl on a broomstick.
This was Botan, whose job was to ferry Yusuke's newly deceased spirit off to the afterlife.
Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately for him, he was such an asshole that the underworld didn't see his selfless death coming and didn't have any space prepared for him. Imagine being such a menace to society that the second you do something nice, hell itself gets caught with his pants down.
So the underworld surrogate king, Koenma, offered Yusuke an alternative. He could return to life as an agent of the afterlife, a spirit detective, solving supernatural crimes and fighting off demonic threats to humanity.
Naturally, Yusuke did what anyone would do in that situation, and told Satan Jr. to stuff it. I mean, he was never really good for anything, and no one was gonna miss him. So what's the point of coming back to life? It's not like his mom would be sad, or his childhood sweetheart Keiko would be heartbroken, or even his rival Kuwabara would shed manly tears. Oh man.
At the sight of loved ones who cared far more than he ever expected, Yusuke had a change of heart and accepted Koenma's offer, returning to life with a new purpose and a new job.
And newfound ass-kicking ability. In his quest to beat the dog shit out of demon kind, Yusuke learned to harness Reiki, or spirit energy. He's ridiculously strong, fast, and durable, heals from wounds quickly, and can see spirits invisible to mortal men.
Even early on, Yusuke could parry Suzaku's lightning arrows, which are formed from real lightning called down from the sky. And with the help of legendary warrior Genkai, he mastered a signature move that could blast anyone to smithereens.
My favorite shonen move ever, the Spirit Gun. At first, Yusuke had a limited number of shots, but eventually he turned it into his personal WMD. Stronger than any weapon on Earth, he could go finger blasting around as much as he wants.
The Spirit Gun is more versatile than
freaky.
Yusuke can
Broomstick, calm your freaky ass down. What you mean by the finger bang? I know what you meant by finger bang, but
bounce it off surfaces for sneak attacks, propel himself around like a rocket in flight, and produce massive explosions with each shot.
He can twist it up for a spirit shotgun, a mighty AoE blast, or a spirit punch, where he keeps the energy stored in his fists and clovers the hell out of you. And the spirit wave, a Kamehameha from before we uncultured Americans knew what a Kamehameha was.
Yusuke may be a punk.
Damn, so Goku, you ripped off the nigga. So this nigga Goku, you ripped off his Kamehameha wave. Oh nah, this nigga, Goku a Drake. Nah, I'm kidding. But I will say, the fact that he was the first one to do it before we even knew what it was, not even before Goku and so was doing it, before we know what the name of it was. This nigga was doing it before Goku. Damn.
But he's deceptively skilled and cunning in battle.
He's not afraid to fight dirty, throwing his shoes, using sleight of hand to place cigarettes on his foe to track them in the dark.
Personally, I'd call that smart. And his hand-to-hand is A+. He's matched experts like Kabano, who's said to have mastered all forms of martial combat.
But his best secret is how quickly he improves. All it takes is a round of training or someone threatening his friends, and Yusuke's power will spike to match stronger enemies, even if it means literally burning through his own life force for a power-up.
All known demons and demon fighters are individually ranked on a scale of power from E to S.
E and D class demons are nothing special. We're talking local threats at best. C and B are getting a bit dicey in a destroy your city kind of way. A and S? Well, hold on to your ass. We're talking end of the world.
As Yusuke forged bonds with new allies, like demons Hiei and Kurama, as well as his old pal Kuwabara, he found himself facing opponents he couldn't beat, such as the monstrous Toguro, who could vaporize weaker demons and crush their souls with sheer aura.
But Yusuke needed to survive and protect his loved ones, so he had no choice but to rank up, even if it meant absorbing the power of a small star. Thanks, Genkai!
Our sun has an average luminosity of 380 septillion watts, or joules per second. Small stars like red dwarfs output about 1/10,000th of that. So this spirit orb's energy per second would equal about 9 million megatons of TNT.
Enough to send Toguro to the grave.
Even after pushing past his own limits, Yusuke would still need more power to face S-class threats like Sensui, a past spirit detective gone bad, and a great measuring stick for what top-tier demons are capable of.
Sensui was so yoked he couldn't even use all his power in the human world without threatening to bring down the whole thing. He compared destroying the whole goddamn planet to kicking an anthill.
According to Genkai, Yusuke could destroy the planet too, if he really wanted. and even A-class threats like King Enma have shaken both the demon and human worlds.
That Enema guy is strong as balls. In the past, he fought the Netherworld King Yakumo, who could eradicate the entire human world and remake the Netherworld.
But Yusuke's power surpassed both of them to the point where he overloaded Yakumo with his own energy. And do keep in mind, Yusuke was still only A-class at the time, a far cry from S-classes like Sensui, whose sacred energy was 10 times his superior.
But not for long, sucker, because turns out Yusuke was a demon himself.
Literally. Yusuke is the descendant of an ancient and incredibly powerful being, one of the strongest in existence, Raizen, the Demon King.
With his Bazoku mark, Yusuke can channel Raizen's spirit for a huge power boost and a massive thirst for murder boost. This was his first taste of a dangerous new type of spirit energy, Yoki.
A form of energy.
All I'm gonna say is, for them type of cousins who you have that will help you out somewhat like this, yeah, I need to chill out.
Energy used by demons. Like normal Reiki, it can be amplified by intense emotions.
Yeah,
Unlike
crazy.
normal Reiki, its use creates a pleasurable feeling, feeding into the user's rage and bloodlust, the feral
Sorry, y'all.
animal within.
So Yusuke upgraded his spirit gun to a demon gun. It's the same thing, but
Blast.
red. Oh, and it's strong enough to blast Sensui past the horizon, putting Yusuke's power firmly in S-class.
And making him a prime candidate to rule the demon world. But as he was thrust into a tournament vying for that throne, Yusuke began to wonder if all this power was what he really wanted.
Self-reflection? From I'll kick your ass, Yusuke Urameshi? Nah, we can worry about that later. There's a tournament to win. Which one of you, girl, baby, or grandparents is first?
Even then, as Yusuke took on the Demon King
YN.
Yomi in an
He's
epic
definitely
final
a
battle,
YN.
he was still growing. He had become far stronger than before, even achieving a unique version of the Mozoku form separate from Raizen's influence.
And a brand spanking new form of power. Kinda like Sensui's sacred energy, but even better. It's so unprecedented, it doesn't even have a name, but it's golden glowy.
Strong enough to clash with Yomi, creating an explosion that split the heavens above and decimated the Okunin tree below, pushing the Demon King himself to his absolute limits.
But then, Yusuke lost. It's not all bad though. Even if being king would have been cool, Yusuke realized he wanted something more. He'd grown up and chose to walk a new path.
It was always Yusuke's connections with others that motivated him above all else. And it was in those connections that he found his happy ending.
But I wouldn't piss him off if you can avoid it. Get him in the right mood or threaten the human world, and the spirit detective will beat your stupid ass.
Long has its return been foretold, but now, finally, it is reborn.
The original Death Battle shirt that once dominated the world. Hell yeah, there's no better way to wear a blood spatter on your chest.
We've restored the original shirt with even better materials, and it's available now on deathbattle.gg. That's our website that's also kind of like
Get it?
website member
Signs of Ash.
behind the scenes and get cool merch at deathbattle.gg.
Let's get it. Like I said,
Alright,
I
the
have
combatants are set, and we've
Ichigo.
run the data through all possibilities.
from wrong,
It's
so be it.
time for a death battle!
This is where the little preview head off.
That's a demon. That's a hollow. No doubt about it!
The fact that it just went straight off. Because normally in these battles, you would get like a dialogue between each two. Insulting or not, you would get a dialogue between between two opponents. But all that, but just one look off of them and in their thoughts that one is a Shinigami, the other one is whatever the case may be. Sorry, y'all. Little alert on my phone for my dad, but I already did it, so don't worry about that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Just no talking, no dialogue like I said earlier, nothing. Just straight up start throwing hands. And hey. Already.
Spirit gun! Getsuga! Tensho!
Oh yeah. Now, and granted, right? Granted. And look, y'all have always heard me said before when it comes to this channel that the powers are all good and all, right? The powers are good and dandy. But I've always said, if we're gonna make this go down into a hand-to-hand combat, no powers, nothing, even if it's for a slight moment, if we're going by hands combat, that's where, to me, I determine who can really throw the good hands and who will possibly win. So, let's see. So far, both of them are good. Okay, that was just disrespectful. That one was just disrespect. You gon' blat. I would have made you blast the spirit gun in my face then down there. That was disrespectful. You gonna blast behind me and then blast me down there? Disrespectful. Get him.
Chump change. Reckless idiot! What a baby! Little demon energy got you scared?
Yeah.
Getsuga! Yusuke! Two at once? Damn, why didn't I think of that?
Nigga, you don't know what he said, so why would you want to do that? You got your own shit.
Give in to me, Yusuke. Let's devour them together.
Hell no! This is my fight, jackass! You just told me back!
Damn! Not him doing the Broly. Y'all remember when I remember seeing the clip where Broly just literally had, I think it was Gohan. Keep in mind, Gohan is in freaking Super Saiyan mode. And so is that big motherfucker. And this nigga has his head and ran right through a building or something. That's what this reminded me of. Like, look at this. Hand to the face and all. Like, really shoving my face.
Just hold me back!
Son. Just really shoving my face. Disrespectful.
Yeesh, rude awakening. This one's a piece of work. Need a hand, partner? Let's do it. Like old times.
On! Cut!
Which one you got?
Tensa! Is that the best you can do? I can go even faster if you'd like. Hell yeah! Bring it on, asshole! I'll kill you even if it kills me! I'm putting it all on the line! You better do the same! Screw that!
Fuck all of that.
afterlife offers frequent flyer miles.
Finally! I freaking got one right! After many times of betting on this shit, I finally got one right. Yes!
There's a lot to cover here, so let's break this down into 4 chapters, starting with their abilities.
Yusuke can see Ichigo.
I don't give a flying fuck what you gotta explain to me. Let's just go to the end to see what's the next one gonna happen soon. Let me just skip right here. I'm sorry. But finally, I finally got it.
And Star, much larger than Yusuke's planet-sized worlds. Plus, Ichigo matched Huabak in True Shikai, without his additional boost from Half Hollow and True Bankai.
As always with Death Battle, there's arguments either way. But the way we see it, even being generous with Yusuke's power and conservative with Ichigo's, the gap was just too big, giving Ichigo the final edge. Sorry if things got messy, but that's just how Ichigo goes.
The winner is Ichigo Kurosaki.
Let me boom see. Let's
Next
see what's the
time
next
on
two going.
Death Battle.
Sonic versus Sail.
Subscribe and join as a member to see
Metal
more Death
Sonic
Battle.
versus
Thanks for
Cell.
watching.
Death Battle is back, and so is our new tabletop gaming channel, Nightly Brew. We've got everything on there from Uno to Dungeons & Dragons, and a very special, all-new Blood on the Clock Tower airing right now. So, come join us at the...
Hey, shout out to Death Battle, but finally, I got one. Finally got one right. After many years since the last one. Like I said, y'all, at one point when I was betting on who would be winning, right? I was on a roll. You couldn't tell me otherwise, but ever since then, certain ones that when I'm betting on them, I lost either way, and it was cool. But I ain't gonna lie to you, finally I got this one. Finally. But hey, man, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this down in the comments below. But like I said, eventually I know there's probably gonna be some arguments, so let me know. Did they do it right or did they do it wrong? But if you made it to the end, comment down below Soul Society, and that makes me know you made it this. No, comment down below Holy Spirit Gun, and that makes me know you made it this far. But it's been your boy HumbleZiggy signing out. Stay positive, keep the vibes up, and keep make sure to hit that subscribe button too, cause I know this is at the end, but hey, the more I say it, the more the YouTube will start pushing out my notification out there. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share with others, and all that. But like I said, been your boy HumbleZiggy signing out. Stay positive, keep the vibes up. I'm out.